see this fun screen with everybody's faces. There we go. It's been a little while. How's everybody doing today? This is Level 1 Adventuring. It is so good to have you here. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Wolf Scott. Our Wednesday night 5th edition Homebrew D&D campaign. We've been off for a little bit, but we are back for you now, and we are so happy to be rejoined together and with you as I put everything in performance mode so I can ensure my computer doesn't melt. What is Level 1 Adventuring if you are brand new to us? We are a lot of things, but primarily we are a TTRPG and RPG-based stream, so we play lots of role-playing games, everything from big group games like D&D, which you're going to watch tonight, that you're probably familiar with, and also like smaller solo games, solo RPGs like Firelights, Tales of the Burned Stones. We have a couple playthroughs of that going on the channel. And we're also playing Solasta. We'll be playing Baldur's once it drops for my computer. We got lots to see, so join us here. Join us on the YouTube, where you can watch all the previous episodes uploaded. And join us on the Discord, where we talk, we meme, we schmooze. We're going to play some D&D together as a community very soon. It will be very, very fun. And what else do I have to say that's important? Shout out to everybody who makes the stream possible. So, obviously, the followers. We actually just hit, I think, 190 as we were waiting in the wings. The goal is 200. So, I mean, we are climbing, but also tabletop audio, StreamLabs, StreamSpell, Stream Audio, AI chatbot, all the services we use to make this a lot of fun for you guys. If you download any of it for yourselves, we get a kickback, and that helps us, so thank you very much. And I think, with that being said, that's the end of my intro. I'd love to kick it over to my friends to tell us a little bit about themselves and say hi to the gang who hasn't seen their lovely faces for so long. How about we just do a little popcorn? Popcorn's always very, very fun. I'm gonna popcorn it over to Sydney.
Hey y'all, I'm Sydney. I play Viola Numa. She is an Azamar cleric who is on a mission to find her god.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you want me to popcorn them for you, Sydney?
I forgot how to popcorn.
You forgot how to make popcorn?
I forgot what popcorn means.
We're still doing that at my job, so I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to shoot it over to Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett. I'm playing Yoan Byrne, our tiefling wizard. I'm also sort of moonlighting as our employer, Theor Graham, who is currently at 0 HP and bleeding out. Popcorn Zach.
Ooh, following up on that, I am playing Zorvarax Verduke, our Dragonborn fighter, who was not here last time, so I have no idea who is dying and who isn't, but I'm excited to try to do my best to help them out. Popcorn Kimani.
Hey y'all, it's Kimani, humble and handsome bard Musidi El-Assad. Happy to be here. Popcorn and Amber.
Hey everyone, my name is Amber, and I play Nadara Valier, our resident Dro rogue. Yeah, I'm excited. Lauren, did you go yet?
I did not.
Popcorn to Lauren.
Thank you. I'm Lauren. I'm playing Grey Eden, our half-orc druid. I was separated from my family by some pretty crazy vibes in the woods, and I'm just trying to find my way back home.
Excellent. I think that's everybody. And also big shout out to Luis Prado, the artist who made all of our wonderful party art, which you are now seeing on the screen to make sure everybody is familiar with our characters' lovely mugs. And then we're going to go back into game time. And hopefully I did that right this time. Dang, there we go. 2 for 2. Or I guess 1 for 2. 1.5 for 2. And once we get loaded in there, excellent. That will be all introductions out of the way, so I feel like we're probably in a good position to do a quick little recap for the viewers at home, and then switch back into game time. How's that feel for everybody?
Feels good.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone's favorite words. When we last left our intrepid heroes. So for a couple sessions now, our party has been hot on the heels of the Forsaken, who are a group of sort of rogue wizards, bandit wizards, who have stolen from them a pretty pricey magical artifact they were set to deliver to the higher-ups of the realm. In the process, they've done a couple of things. They've befriended a Nothic in the most unlikely of fashions, a one-eyed aberration monstrosity, which is obsessed with books. They've managed to subdue and interrogate and now force along in their quest one of the Forsaken agents, a tiefling by the name of Devotion. And they've ascertained a lot of information about the complex that they're in. They found out that it's riddled with hidden doors and illusions and divinatory traps, and it's all headed off by a wizard by the name of Jacqueline, who is definitely keeping tabs on their movements throughout the caverns and waiting for them as they try to get their hands on the prize she stole from them. In the process, the party had discovered that there was a secret little back way to getting not only to Jacqueline, but to the library, which they previously visited, which they really want to bring Creep to, because once again, Creep loves books, and they're really trying to make friends with Creep. He normally couldn't get through that door, because it is magically warded, but the party is quite crafty. And they said, you help us, we help you. We get you to the library. You help us defeat Jacqueline. It's all going to be nice. However, they were also sort of informed along the way that the secret path is guarded by another little sentry of Jacqueline's, a pet monstrous mimic, which sort of holds little hunting grounds in their treasure trove, the little stash area where they steal their ill-gotten gains from people in the realms on the roads. Jacqueline keeps it well fed and at her heel in these dark caverns. So the party got into the cavern, debated on what to do next since they weren't immediately assaulted by a mimic and were getting pretty nervous. There was some talk of maybe serving up a devotion, but they thought better of it and decided to just sneak their way, honestly, goodnessly, through the darkness. About halfway across the cavern floor, there was a squelching sound as one of the stacks of crates suddenly splintered open in a hail of tentacles and maws of teeth and eyes manifested, and the mimic unveiled itself. Quickly did the mimic scoop up one of the party members' friends, a veteran knight of the realm, Theor Graham, scooped him up in the air and began very promptly chomping on all of his soft, mushy bits, and turning him into a little bloody pulp. Back and forth, the fight has been traded for a round or so, and the end result being the mimic is still firmly crawling along the ceiling using its sticky, tentacled body to continue to chew on Theor to the point of unconsciousness. You pretty much just see an armored, bloody mass hanging in, like, the tendrils of this creature above your head in the ceiling. Creep, who bravely ran forward and tried to claw this thing out of the air, unfortunately was not so fortunate, and was similarly buffeted by tentacles and then pulled into the air and chomped on, and is now in dire straits as the mimic slithers its way back across the ceiling and tries to ferry away its prey and finish the job. The only other bit of information that is relevant, I guess, to this moment is that there was a brief moment where Devotion looked as though she was going to use the chaos of this moment to hightail it out of the cavern before she got too mixed up into things, but Gray, reminding her of the party's loyalty, ? certain party members' loyalty to her endeavor, ushered her to stay, and Devotion seemingly has listened for now and has kept firm in place. So we are mid-combat with the Mimic, who is currently chewing on a bunch of their friends. That is where we are right now. And before I sort of help get us reacclimated back to the battlefield and the order of things and all that stuff, do we have any pertinent questions or concerns from the gang? Oh, I have a finger up from Zorvarax. A blue, scaly finger up from Zorvarax.
Yeah, where am I?
Right? Okay, so we have some battlefield-related questions. Okay. So for those who, if you have a pen or pencil, and you want to remind yourselves of where you might be in the initiative order, because I know it's been a while, the order that I have, and hopefully is still correct, is Creep, Gray, Zorvarax, Fior, who will not be making death saves, Percy, who, if you once again you're new to the stream, Percy is Theor's very useless but very endearing nephew, who's trying his best, a squire with a heart of gold and a sword arm made of jello. Musadee, Yoan, Viola, Nadara, Devotion, the Mimic. So the Mimic is literally the last thing to do anything. And then it goes back to top of round. That's what I have here. In terms of our, what's the word? Visibility and battlefield positioning, you are in a very dimly, and depending on the corner of the room, darkly lit cavern, which has been roughly carved to make a part of a holding cell. We did see there was like a bricked off and iron barred sort of holding room for what would be prisoners of the Forsaken. However, they weren't currently holding anyone. So, current standings. The Mimic has just slurped its way across the ceiling with... I almost wanted to say Yoan, but that is not the character. Theor and Creep in tow. They are about, in the darkness now, 30 feet away from nearest... Yoan and Musadee are the next close, about 30-odd feet away between them.
They're highlighted. They're highlighted in a spell that I did, so we can see them in the dark. So
Correct, Fairy Fire. So I'll make a note of that.
Specifically, Theor is Fairy Fired.
Yes.
yeah. And Creep. And Creep.
Yeah. Perfect. So Musadee and Yoan are the closest, and then very shortly behind, within 5 feet, so around 30-35 feet, we have Viola and Gray. Then a little further back, because they ran in to help their party once the Mimic tried to chew on them in the holding cells, roughly 60 feet back, we have Percy, we have Zorvarax, and we have our resident rogue Nadara is the current situation in terms of the battlefield. In terms of... cover, other objects. The room is littered with barrels, crates, boxes. Obviously, the Mimic has had a lot of time being able to compose many different disguises in this room. Some errant rocks splitting about. Nothing that should impede your movement in terms of... unless you're trying specifically to clamber up some of the materials. But the flooring itself is pretty smooth and unfettered. And that is sort of everyone's general positioning. Any questions beyond that?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Was I don't remember if I was sneaking or not. Like, am I hiding? Was that my last
you did. I remember you had a stealth check as one of your last checks. Yeah. And I did not... Oh, I actually did write it down. Your last stealth total was a 25. So okay. You are the most hidden, I think, that you possibly could be. So yeah, you're very hidden at this moment.
All right, cool.
Any other points of order from the friends? No? Wonderful. We love to see it. So then if that is the case, I think what I'll do is put on this slightly more spirited, slightly more spirited combat track to get us into our initiative order. So, beginning of round 1 is Creep. I have to get back in my Creep headspace. So Creep. Creep's having a time. Creep is currently floating, roughly 30, well, actually, no, what was the ceiling? Probably like 10, 15 odd feet in the air, ensnarled in jelly-like pseudopods with bite marks in his gray-green flesh, which I should note is not entirely gray-green because it is now pulsating with fairy light. Yes. That was your point of order. Yeah, he's a lantern light in the darkness. Okay.
Also, everyone remember you have a good berry. I think I gave everyone.
Oh, that's right. You did give everyone good berries.
So you can if you fall down to 0 hit points, take this and you'll fall to 1.
So that means Creep's gonna go first. Now, Creep is unfortunately grappled and restrained. He has to fight against his current predicament here. Oh. Sorry, one thing that I should have done is, have my dice app open. It seems like that'd probably be a good thing to do when you're going to play a game that, primarily runs off of dice rolls. So the first thing, Creep's got multi-attack, which is great for Creep.
Okay, I have to ask a question.
Yeah, ask a question.
Let's just say I pass out. I'm knocked out. You said that we have a good berry, so can I pass out and then pop the good berry, or do I have to pop the good berry and then I just want to make sure I have the order, just so I know.
If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look up the ruling for good berry. I believe it is an action to consume the berry. I could be. Let's see.
Here, I have it right here.
Okay.
It is, a creature can use its action to eat 1 berry. Eating a berry restores 1 hit point, and the berry provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. So maybe if like a nearby comrade falls prone.
Yeah, you'll have to feed your comrade the berry.
But it's better than a whole potion.
Exactly.
And you'll never go hungry for 24 hours.
Exactly. And before you ask, because I know it's all on your minds, I will let you baby bird it to each other. I know you were just.
Fantastic.
Oh god. Okay, so back to Creep's desperate struggle against the thing trying to devour him. Creep, double checking the armor class. Okay, this looks pretty promising for Creep in this moment. You can see the Nothic, which is currently tangled up in the jelly-like pseudopod, is trying to claw its way free. And despite probably the better urge to free itself, use its action to free itself, there's equal parts. There is sort of an intelligence to Creep, but there is also, as we've seen, very much a feral animal that lives inside of that skull. And that one is very much enraged at the fact that this other creature is challenging it. Rolls for an attack, does hit, at least with 1, and so reaches the claw back and strikes upward, and you can see where some of the Mimic's body has sort of transmogrified to look like planks of wood. Creep just shatters right through it, and you can just hear a squelch as it hits something meaty and gooey on the inside, and as it rips its arm back, the Mimic's mouth, which is currently like half trying to digest Theor, shifts violently across his form to let out a warble of pain as it suffers 5 points of slashing damage.
That was a crazy noise.
That was a fantastic noise. I'm immersed.
I did not know what sound it was going to be, but then in my mind I heard Mimic and I was like, Dark Souls Mimic. That's kind of like, that's kind of like the vibe. So manages, even against its current sticky situation, Creep does manage to land a blow on the Mimic. I don't think it can do anything else because it isn't going to fight free. Bonus action. Oh, it can, actually. Okay. As Creep lands this heroic blow on the creature, our little author says, I can confirm that. Makes the DM sound effects hit so much more. I think the audio is a bit low for everyone. I have everyone on my end. At least your personal volume should be pretty high. I'll put up this volume to max as well. We'll see what happens. Keep me in the loop. As far as I know, everything right now should be max volume on everybody. Creep, after striking this momentous blow against the Mimic, you can see there is a new steely determination in that one menacing, glowing eye as it grits its teeth. Creep won't die yet! As Creep uses a bonus action to Second Wind as a sidekick. So we have a couple of sidekick features attached to the Nothic, including Second Wind. Can roll a d10. Okay, a solid 7 health back. That's, that's enough to keep you in the fight. So that's gonna be... So you can see the muscles flex, the sweat drips down the glowing skin of Creep as a newfound resolve floods his muscles. Doesn't completely get him out of that dire threat zone, but perhaps enough to survive another chomp or tentacle slap if it should come his way. And I think that is all Creep can do since he is standing his ground and fighting, which means, Gray, it's going to be tossed up to you, and then next up is going to be Zorvarax. So Zorvarax, you are on deck.
Okay. So I'm going to cast Magic Stone and then throw one Magic Stone.
Ooh, we'd love to see it. What is the range on Magic Stone, just so I make sure you don't have to do any movement before you get that out?
I believe it's 60 feet. You said I was 30 feet?
You are within range.
Cool. All right. Oh, god damn it. We have inspiration laying around, right? I'm just gonna... Not great. Fuck. I switched dice.
Oh, that was your failing.
Oh my god. So I got a 5. I got a 5.
Okay. I got a 5.
I guess an 8, yeah.
8 total. Okay, I don't mean to confirm your dejected disposition here, but that will be a miss. As Gray, you do conjure up. Would you like summon the stones from beneath your feet, like from the cavern floor?
No, I kneel down to pick them up, and as I throw, I lose my balance, and that's why I'm
There, you see a puff of dust escape from Gray's foot.
And then I think, oh, I should have conjured them up to my hand.
That was such a good idea. Why didn't I do that? You see as the glowing stone imbued with Gray's druidic might shatters against the ceiling just a few feet shy of the mimic itself. You can see some of the eyes through the wood grain on the front plate of this ever-transforming body shift its direction back in Gray's general vicinity, hearing that in sort of an angry chitter, but does not have the ability to strike quite yet. Do you do anything else, Gray, with your turn?
I try and make that exact same noise back at it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Let's hear it. No, you nailed it.
I know this is live, but can we cut that out?
Oh, there are 2 of them?
I think actually that's gonna be the clip. Like that's the thing I'm gonna cut for social purposes and no context, just you going. That's good. All right.
Yeah, I think it's a commercial anyway.
Yeah. They'll only get it on YouTube. It's a YouTube exclusive at this point. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, Gray. So you're sticking where you are. You are barking like an angry seal at the mimic. And anything else for you?
Yeah, I don't bark for long.
Yeah, I got after I let the first note out, and I'm like, this isn't happening. I quit. Zorvarax, that means it is going to be your turn, and that means on deck, and on death saving throw is Theor will be on deck. So Zorvarax, it is all up to you.
How far are they from me again?
They are currently 60 feet away.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So I'm going to start running towards them. Just using my full movement to go straight at them.
Dash and gotcha.
And then I'm going to throw my hand axe while I'm running.
Okay, so you're not going to dash, you're going to move and throw.
No, yes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Move, and I'm going to attack.
Perfect, okay. And then the range on the hand axe is, just double checking.
It is
2060.
2060. Okay, yeah. So you will have to throw with disadvantage, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll take it. Oh boy. It was a 9 or a 1, and disadvantage means 1.
Means 1. Okay. Do you have any flourish you want to add to your nat 1 with your hand axe?
I want to say that I will rush forward saying, I am doing something! And then I will throw it right off into the distance. Not even close to them. Just like, bye!
Yeah, Devotion watches as you come pounding through the court, just like armor and scales. You roar around back, I'm doing something! And you like release it, and Devotion has to drop her head down as it nearly like cleaves through her head, like sailing behind her. And as she's like hiding behind the barrel, yeah, that was something alright. Just like shivering as the axe disappears into the darkness.
I think that's my last hand axe. I think, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna double check now.
Percy, as you triumphantly stride forward, being a lad who has thrown many a spear and missed virtually every shot, under his breath sort of goes, "Oh, is that what that looks like? Oh, that's dreadful."
I'll show you how it's done next time.
Alright, so Zorvarax, that was a move, that was an errant chuck of a hand axe. Anything else?
I mean, I did my movement, I did my action, I think that's it.
Alright.
I'm still going as, like, I'm beelining it towards them, so.
Okay. In the haze of all this chaos, Theor is in the grips of life and death, and that means Percy is on deck.
Here comes that death save. Ooh, 18.
18. Okay, is that the first one? Okay. You can barely. Well, I should say you can barely, but you can quite clearly see. Probably one of the most clear things you can see being that Theor is currently magically illuminated. Hanging in midair, there's sort of like a convulsion of life in the muscles for a moment as consciousness wakes for just a moment, as blood like falls out of his mouth and lands on the stones beneath his feet, as he then once again falls back unconscious. Is still clearly fighting for his life and hanging on, but in dire straits. That is going to be Percy. Seeing his uncle flailing and fighting and struggling, you will, hear an ineffectual but still spirited "Uncle!" from behind everyone in the back. I'm pretty sure that Percy, speaking of throwing spears and missing, I don't think Percy currently has a spear in his possession.
In the event that happens, Wolf, like, how do we reach it when it's above us like that? Like, how do we get it?
How do you?
I don't know if Percy still has it, but I gave him a spear eons ago.
Okay. A spare spear?
I don't know what he did with it, but I did give it to him.
Okay. We'll say for the foresight of Tetrios, the spear is still on Percy's person. Percy's person, that's fun to say. You'll hear "Uncle!" from behind you as a shaking hand reaches behind him into the sheath, and you rattle against the inside of the pack as the spear is unlodged. All right, Percy, old boy, you only get so many shots at this. This is your blood on the line. This is for the Valiants. Let's see how this goes. Percy's gonna move. There's a nice gaggle of people. And Percy's gonna let one rip. Okay. That is going to be... Okay. This is for your blood, Percy. This is for the Valiants! As the spear disappears behind the mimic, scrapes against the stones, falls behind a barrel, and is lost to the cache. Well, it does in fact look just like that, Percy says as he points to Zorvax. It's a spitting image of what that looks like.
Oh yes, that was exactly what it should look like, but get it in one of the other bad guys next time.
With all of my might, Percy whimpers. Alright. That means Musa D, it's gonna be you coming up and Yoan on deck. Now, Musa D, you asked me a very interesting question. How do we hit this thing? I would like for you to give me your choice of an investigation or an insight check.
Investigation or insight? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do insight.
Okay.
Okay, so I rolled a 10.
A 10? Alright, it's pretty common knowledge. I won't give you the direct pathing per se, but I mean, you check your guts for a second. You're starting to realize the severity of this moment and how close your friends are to death. And you remember in your bones that just moments before, that your party members had sort of created like a human pyramid, or clambered atop some of the boxes in the previous room to inspect some of the acidic markings on the ceiling above your head. And as you scan the battlefield, you see nothing but boxes and barrels stacked atop each other in various formations and patterns. A person nimble or strong might be able to use that to their advantage.
Okay. So can I relate that to the group? That folks, there's boxes. So Nadar, wherever you're hiding in the shadows, consider the boxes. Blue, again, your strength, consider the boxes. And I'm closest to Gray, right?
Double checking my resource right now. You're actually, since Zorvarax ran up and chucked that axe, yeah, you're actually closest to Zorvarax at the moment.
Perfect. So I'm going to swivel around Blue, and I should still be playing my lute, and I'm going to use Vicious Mockery, and I'm going to say, filth, a box, disgusting. And use Vicious Mockery on Mimic.
Excellent. We love a Vicious Mockery. Now, I believe I have to make a save against your spell save DC for that, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, you must succeed in a Wisdom saving throw. Take 1d4 psychic damage plus disadvantage on your next attack roll.
Ooh, Wisdom saving throw. I will give that a roll. Ooh, and that does not look good for Mr. Mim. The Mim, that's going to be a grand total of an 8.
So, I don't know where to find my spell save DC. But I'm pretty sure it's better.
Yeah, I would say you probably have at least a 13. I would be very concerned if you had a spell save DC 8 as a bard.
So let's go with 13.
Okay. Alright, so that means I'm taking, you said 1d6?
1d4.
1d4. Grand.
Oh, I need to roll it.
The suspense is killing me.
Okay, so I rolled a 4.
Okay, hey, max damage. That's good. All right. Perfect.
I want to shadow right behind Blue, and then my turn.
Very heroically shadow behind your friend Blue. As you release your poisonous words into the air on a strum of your lute, a power chord of your lute, you see the entire mass of the Mimic sort of shake under the weight of your words as a paint sort of echoes out of it. You can see some lumps of that gelatinous substance that makes up its body like breaks off and splatters against the floor as it's trying to hold itself together. It's still fighting, but that is a pure hit as any. And you mentioned that is disadvantage on its next attack roll. So that is something for me to lock away in here. Okay. Musa D, that means Yoan, you're going, and Viola, you are next on deck.
So what's the visibility status on the Mimic?
The Mimic, the fact that it's grappling two well-lit targets, it's pretty visible. It's obviously not benefiting from, you're not benefiting from fairy fire itself, but the creatures are giving off so much light that it is itself visible.
Fireball.
I hear what you're saying.
Well, the dice aren't, because that's a crit miss.
Oh no! What is that going to be in terms of any? You want to add any narrative flair or fluff or fun to that?
I think he finally gets a bead on the mimic, and he's just whipping up the wand, gathering the fire to it, and the minute he's about to flick it, like, the mimic kind of shudders and flops the aura around and just, like, biffs it into a stalactite instead, just to be safe.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. Yeah, there's a rattle of armor that you don't want to scorch as you blacken a stone instead. And as you are lowering your wand, still steaming with smoky fire, in the back of your mind, a cool, chilling whisper makes the hair stand on the back of your neck. Oh, what a shame! So close. And just as quickly as it arrives, it disappears.
Yoan just grits his teeth and tries to stay focused.
Perfect. Viola, that means that is going to be you, and Nadara, you are on deck with that stealth check, 25.
Okay, so I've got a question.
I have an answer.
Does this look particularly sneaky or particularly strong?
I would allow you to make a check to discern that.
Yeah, what about an investigation or perception check?
Okay, if you would be willing to use a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm willing.
Okay.
Okay, that's a non-natural 20.
A non-natural 20, okay. So, in terms of its bodily chemistry, we'll say, it doesn't seem particularly quick. It is slithering rather slowly. It just has the advantage of being able to disguise itself that makes it truly as formidable as it is in the dark. But it does have its body does seem to be made of an unknown, very hardy material.
Stronger stuff.
Yeah.
Sacred Flame. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame.
Excellent.
Which is dexterity. It has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw coming up for you. Ooh. Really slow. Really just, some would say even a too slow. Too slow, maybe. So, yeah, that is definitely a hit.
What? Oh, that's not... I was supposed to roll a d8, and I rolled a 10 on this, so that's not the right die.
I love your honesty.
That was... Wait, which one's the d8? I never remember. Oh, that's the 2 pyramids ass to ass, I remember. I rolled an 8.
Nice! Oh, but you guys are rolling some good rolls tonight.
We're rolling terrible rolls.
Well, I mean, it's either you roll terribly or you roll on the upper end, so it's you're in a nice flow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm so far.
Excellent. Viola, can you give me a quick rendition of what this holy light that you bear manifests itself as?
Yeah, so Sacred Flame, in order to cast, I have to be holding my holy symbol that I have around my neck. And so I channel through, eyes closed, you see a faint glow beneath my hood, and from my hand is my blue lightning light.
Nice.
That erupts.
Excellent. Cracks through her palm, through the darkness, towards the Mimic. The Mimic is too busy with its eyes focused on a recently scorched stalactite to notice that there is holy divine lightning streaking towards it. It hits the side of it once again, where all of that fake wood is, ripples and transforms into gooey flesh as the Mimic releases another unnerved, woeful sound. It is still standing, but hurt. Anything else for you, Viola?
I'm sorry. Will you repeat where I am?
I would love to repeat where you are. I live to repeat where you are.
Thank you.
Although, or I would if my, if suddenly my battle map, where did it go? Okay, there it is. Viola,
You said no.
I said battle map said nah. You are roughly 30 feet away from the bloody mess, which is the fight happening with the Mimic, and you are pretty shoulder to shoulder with Gray, Yoan, and Percy at the moment.
Okay. Is everybody doing okay health-wise? Because if you're not, I'll get in front of you because I haven't been hit yet.
I'm at 10.
You're at 10? Yoan, are you okay?
Yoan's untouched.
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then I get in front of Gray.
Okay. Make a note here. Well, let me ask you this. Because Percy's in front of Gray. Do you feel like putting your body in front of Percy's?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that. Begrudgingly, but I do it because it's what Tetrios would want me to do.
See, there we go. That is role playing at its finest. You can see Viola sort of like bravely stepping in front of Gray, and then noticing Percy nearby, currently unarmed and a little worse for wear. Just shifts her weight slightly in front, so she's now a bulwark between Percy and what would be his imminent doom. With that, that's your turn? Gotcha. Viola, so then we have Nadara right now, and then Devotion on deck, and then the Mimic.
Okay. So with me hiding, is that a sneak attack?
If yes, the creature has not noticed you, so if you do get a successful strike, that would be considered a sneak attack.
Okay, let's see. Alright, hold on. I just need an extra dice here. Grab on that. Alright, so, as per usual, I'm gonna try to take a crossbow shot. Actually, my first question. Do I know anything about any vulnerable spots on this Mimic?
You've not discerned any, to my knowledge, yet.
Okay. So, I'll do a crossbow shot. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna use a point of inspiration because I just rolled a natural one. Okay, way better. 23 to hit.
Ooh, that's a hit.
And what is this? D8. And then D6. Ooh. 14 points of damage.
Ooh.
It's dead. Come on, it's dead. Come on, that's it.
I doubt it.
Would I giveth you a monster that could be slain? Oh, look! Aw, kitty cat! Secret kitty cat!
Sorry, he's attacking my dice, so he wants to be up here so bad.
Nadar, and you're doing that with your crossbow? I just want to double check the range to make sure you don't have to move to not get any disadvantage on that.
Yes, my crossbow is range. It says it's like 80 back.
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. Absolutely good. Nadara, last time, actually, your positioning on the battlefield, your last stealth check was actually taken towards the holding cells. So you've been back up against like the jail cell this entire time, like biding your time to the right moment. Finally, you hear a slight lull and dip in the fight as you wheel around, knock the crossbow, put that mass of gurgling alien substance between your crosshairs, and release it. It sails through the air. It slices through an entire tentacle, just rips it off of the beast as it falls to the ground in one big gelatinous blob and splatters against the pavement. It is now in critical condition as it releases a very pained warble, but still holding firm. Critical, holding firm. Anything else that you would like to do with your turn after launching that shot?
Yes, please. I would like to do a real cool, like, run, dash, flip thing behind a different barrel, and then use my bonus action to hide again.
Run, dash, flip thing? I love that. Do you want to run, dash, flip thing, like, in the direction of the fight? Or do you want to try, like, are you trying to skirt around the edges?
Yeah.
Or yeah?
I want to skirt around. I want to keep my distance from it.
Okay.
But I want to have it not know that I'm shooting from that same spot.
Gotcha. A little kite maneuver there. Okay. So then if that's the case, just give me another stealth check so I can just make sure the creature doesn't spot you doing your little acrobatic maneuver here.
Absolutely. Oh, that's probably the worst stealth check I've ever rolled. 12.
Well, let me double check my resources here. Our little officer is getting real method with these mimic sounds, and I'm here for it. Listen, I only have a few key skill sets in this life. That is reading too many D&D books and replicating weird sounds. Like I'm like a parakeet, essentially. I just hear a sound. You're gonna see like TikTok videos of you like hitting like a glass, and I'll be like, glass. It's gonna be me. Perfect. Nadar, you do your very elegant, very swift, very dynamic run, jump, flip thing. And as you land behind the crates and you lift your head to see your position, there are just a gaggle of glowing, angry eyes that are on these little pseudoped stalks of the mimic trained in your direction. It has spotted you. 12 is enough to get you.
That's fantastic. So then I'm gonna look at Devotion and say, I really, really need you to kill this thing. It's looking right at me.
On Devotion's turn, she will look at Nadara, hold up her currently bound wrists, and just say, I think I'm gonna look out for myself, thank you very much. And she will take the dodge action, and just hope that nothing comes her way.
If it kills you, I'm not saving you.
Well, if it kills me, I won't really have to worry about that, now will I?
So wait, nobody cut her ropes? Nobody
No.
No.
She wasn't trying to run. Feel free.
Gray did look at her and said, protect.
You protect. I protect.
I gave her a good berry.
That's true. Yeah. Holding up the. You give me cookie. That's the only thing that Devotion is armed with. Has bound wrists, holding a single like good berry in between her fingers, and just hoping with all life.
Don't you you don't need to have your hands unbound to do magic. What the hell?
Well, some would argue that you do need a free movement of the hand to perform somatic components, but as far as you know, she's also not wielding any of her arcane implements. So, give some, lose some. But that being said, speaking of give some, lose some, it is the Mimic's turn. And the Mimic has taken a pretty substantial amount of damage right now and is currently holding a feral creep. And might be reconsidering who is the wisest snack out of the bunch in this moment. So you see, as Creep is like struggling and trying to claw its way towards the Mimic, and Theor is hanging there, literally dangling by a thread. Some of the gelatinous like sinew that is bound to them, slowly stretching, almost like watching like silly putty hit the ceiling and then take too long to like release. As suddenly the Mimic releases its adhesive grip on both Theor and Creep. That means they're going to take a little bit of falling damage, because it's not going to let them down gently.
Oh no.
That's an auto death failure for Theor.
Yeah, Theor takes damage while unconscious, so you just hear a sickening pop as some vital bone gives loose underneath the heavy plate armor of Theor as he drops like a loose sack from the ceiling onto the tile, the stone floor. Creep is released with not but a sort of skidded bump on his backside. and sort of like, like hunkers upward, like with one claw on his back. Just takes a middling amount of fall damage, not enough to put him back in that scary situation. However, the Mimic is now able to move pretty freely and uncontested without these creatures grappling it and keeping it well lit, as it will use its full action to dash and slurp its way across the ceiling towards another dark corner of the storehouse, using its full action and then bonus action, hide. You can see just a fleeting moment along the ceiling, all of that putty begin to shapeshift and take the form of more stones and bricks and blocks. And as it disappears into the darkness, it is now indistinguishable from any other barrel in this joint. Creature's hidden.
Okay, so do we run? Do we just leave?
It's probably gonna kill us. I mean, it's almost dead.
Right, but we didn't want to fight. We just wanted to get past the thing. We could just dip.
What if it follows us and we fight Jacqueline?
I think if we don't kill it, it will kill us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're not
It will
going
hunt
directly to
us.
Jacqueline anyway.
Yeah, go with that killing shit. So we gonna.
Things,
Is
Playing
it
the wrong
Greg's
game, man.
things that
Wait,
live in
how big-
places like this don't tend to leave survivors.
I have a point of order question.
Point of order question.
How big is the room that we're in?
It is roughly if we're using a top-down D&D map, if you can use your imagination, it's roughly like 90 feet by 90 feet, right? So it's a big square.
Okay.
Got probably like a what do you call it? Like that 10-15 foot ceiling, and then just a big square in all directions. There are, of course, a couple outcroppings cut out for the jail cell and that original parlor that you entered in that had all of the registries of what was stolen. But aside from that,
Yeah. Okay. So never mind.
Are we still in initiative order?
you're still in initiative order. So right now it is Creep, and Creep is, looks upward, darts his eyes around. Where? Give to Creep! Creep hungers! And holds up his clawed hands, stretches them out. Shing!
Is that his turn?
I mean, he's kind of waiting for the parties,
I mean, I just want to give Theor my berry.
Okay, so we're staying in our little order here. Yeah. Okay. So Creep let's see. We'll give Creep he's got one giant magical eye. Maybe he'll be able to spot this thing if he's lucky enough. We'll give him a perception check. So as he's yelling, "Where? I want fight!" Let's give him a check. Let me check his stats. There we go. There's Creep. And let me roll him a die. Ooh, okay. Creep is far too enraptured with the bloodlust, with the anger of almost being felled by this Mimic, that he's just swinging his head in all directions, sharpening his claws on each other, itching for a fight. But no fight finds Creep. Does not pass that check. So that's going to be Creep's turn. Gray, that's going to be you. And then following up is Zorvarax.
So I'm gonna run over to Theor and take the berry that I gave him from his person and force him to eat it.
Okay, so we're going to move Gray over to Theor. Pop the berry.
You gotta make him chew it.
Yeah. No, I'm
Yeah,
on the
make him
bird
chew it.
actually.
Well, I did say you could do it.
I'm gonna mom bird it and then just drip it into.
Ew.
Sorry, I don't want to die.
Viola is watching this with disgust.
And Moosity is into it.
There's a mixture of sweat and blood and weird Mimic pudding smell in the air as
For just a minute, we even see the Mimic go, oh.
as just a literal one good berry's worth of pulp and juice The one berry is spittled into Theor's bearded face, by the way. You can see Theor's like in this like half unconscious haze. Oh well, I was on the battlefield and and just like blinks his eyes and is now like inches away from Gray, who has like berry juice dribbling off of her chin. I'm not quite sure what has happened here, but I feel as though I should be grateful.
Okay, and then I'm also just gonna turn around and blindly throw a magic stone into the last corner where I saw the mimic.
Okay. You can give me a attack with disadvantage. Our little author says, getting kink-shamed by a mimic is not how I thought this night would go. Listen, that is why the mimic is the enemy here, okay? It's not because it's trying to eat everyone. It's because very close-minded.
Okay, so I got a nat 1. So once again, you leap down from the ground to pick up a stone. You throw it into the darkness, and in your mind think once again, "Oh, I should have conjured them into my hand." No, in my brain, I'm thinking, was that weird what I just did with the berry?
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, well, Theor at least is back to 1 HP. We got that going for us. Zorvrax, that is going to be your turn, and then Theor, you are on deck.
So this thing is still getting away with Theor.
Oh, no. Theor and Creep have been dropped to the ground. They are on the floor now. The creature has scuttled away into the darkness and has done a stealth check, and it turns out stealth checks on mimics who can transform into inanimate objects are pretty dang good. So it's currently lost to your senses and sight.
I mean, I'm happy to try a perception check, but I think I'm going to check on the people that are alive and see how they're doing.
Okay, and in terms of what would you, to what effect, just so I know what you're trying to accomplish here. Oh, God.
I mean, I guess I'll just do a perception to see how everyone's doing as far as who's looking dead versus not dead.
Okay.
Ooh, that's going to be a 19.
19. We can definitely see that the worst for wear here is Theor. He's literally at 1 HP. Had a death save under his belt not but a few moments ago. In terms of Creep survivability, Creep normally has he's a pretty chonky boy, this monster sidekick stat block. He normally has around like 40 HP, and he's currently sitting at around 20. So he's about half health. And then I'm sure the rest of the party could let you know what their status is if need be.
Well, I'll head to Theor if I can, and see if I can bring him to our cleric to get some help.
Oh, like hoist him on your shoulder? Oh yeah, you can absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I won't even give you a strength check for that. You are more than capable of lifting a human person side person. As you reach down to scoop Theor up, whose body just moments ago gave off a very sickening crack sound. He sort of braces one arm on your shoulder and sort of half pulls himself as you lift. He's, "Easy now, son, easy. As you finally manage to put him across your back. And you can hear him sort of grumble under his
body. I've had to hoist.
Under his breath, you can hear, "I don't know. That's supposed to calm me. That's supposed to inspire me. But thank you." But yes, you are currently now holding Theor on your shoulder. Anything else for you?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Speaking of Theor, you are being held aloft. Is there anything you would like to do in this moment specifically? Do you resist being? Would you like to not be held or what?
I think Theor needs a good cuddle. He's definitely not going to resist being taken away, but he's going to. What's he going to do?
Viola has a hand up. You have a potion?
I have a potion. Yeah, I have a potion of healing.
He didn't see the mimic scuttle away.
Correct.
He's gonna make a perception check to see if he can find it.
Okay.
11.
11. Yes, unfortunately, Theor, whose brain has now been thoroughly knocked around his skull a little bit and probably has some blood in his eyes. He's seeing double. If he saw a mimic, he would see 2 mimics, but right now he sees 0 mimics.
Well, he definitely gets his heavy crossbow out. In case he spots it. But he can't do anything else besides that, so that's his turn.
Theor knocks the crossbow, sort of shakes his head. I'll help as best I can if it rears its ugly head again. Percy. Yes, and speaking of being incredibly helpful, shing! He'll pull the sword out of his belt buckle, which almost immediately he gets off of his footing just from releasing it from his sheath. Rushes over to Theor, I should say, puts a hand on his shoulder. Uncle, are you all right? How are your organs? Do they feel as if they're in the same place? Percy, I couldn't feel my organs before I was knocked unconscious. How would I? That's just, it's a figure of I'm just worried for you. Boy! And grabs him by the shoulder. There are more pressing things. Prove your valor now, whilst you still can. And Percy, brandishes the blade with a newfound vigor. Yes, Uncle, I'll try to make you proud. Will also do his best to give a perception check, as you can quite hear him rattling in his boots. Nothing, that's a 3. You can just see there was fog rolling over his glasses from the pure terror of this moment, and the sword rattling in his hands. He sees absolutely nothing. Musadi, that's going to be your turn, and then following Yoan.
Okay, so I'm going to use my dancing lights.
Okay.
And I'm going to make it in the shape of a creep, and I want it to puff right through the creep and go in the direction of the mimic.
Okay.
And I want to try a perception check, because I want to see what this one is.
Okay. Once again, a sparkling purplish amalgamation of lights, which looks like a Nothic, sprints its way towards the boxes where the mimic had disappeared to, and illuminates that corner of the room. You can give me a perception check.
So I rolled a 6. Can I use my inspiration?
You may.
So I rolled a 10.
A 10. The purple light floods the area, but by this point the mimic has had plenty of time to reconstitute its form, and whatever shape it is in now, you do not know, from one barrel to one box to one crate to the next, it is fully transformed and disguised.
Okay, so I walk around to the group and frustrated. So what do we do? Right? Do we fight in the dark, or do we just leave? What are we doing?
I think we should ready actions for when it does show up.
That's about strategy.
Okay. Can I ready an action after doing the dancing lights and trying to do a perception thing?
I believe the dancing lights is an action to cast the spell, unless you have a spell or an ability that operates on a reaction, anything like that. But no.
No, yes, I'm gonna skip back closer to the group so we're in a nice little tight little circle.
Nice. Nice little tight little cycle. We love to see it. And that is going to be Yoan, who I called next, and Viola's on deck.
Yoan is going to just ready up another firebolt in case we see this thing again, with a little bit of the flames just burning at the end of his wand, waiting.
Firebolt readied. That means, and sticking in the same place.
He was 30 feet away from where it was before, so he's going to try and put another 30 feet between him and where it was, if he can.
Yes, that would be, kind of behind the cell bar situation in that little prison zone.
If he'll still have a clear shot, then yeah.
Okay. Ooh, excuse me. And that is going to be Yoan. So Viola, and then Nadara's on deck.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do first off is I'm gonna pour this potion down Theor's throat.
Okay.
Try to get him okay. He gets 7 hit points back.
Nice.
So he's alive. And is that my action or is that my bonus?
That would be an action.
Okay. So then can I bonus look for it? Or
No.
is it also an action?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then I vibe. I just that's me.
So the party, so yeah, we're all gathering around Theor here trying to help him out. Theor's just been like fed a berry, picked up, had a potion dumped down his throat. He's like just woken up and there's just so many things happening around him at this point. You're all too cut. Like this like berry juice and potion juice.
Can I, as a bonus action, braid his hair?
You can start, but I don't know if you'll finish a full braid. But yeah.
Okay. I'll start.
All right, so that means Nadara is on deck, and then Devotion. I'm sorry, Nadara's now, and then Devotion's on deck.
Okay, and you just said the perception check is your action?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna stow away my crossbow back on my back, and I'm actually gonna take out both of my daggers.
Ooh.
Because I just remember the last thing I saw was all these eyes staring at me, and I just have a feeling that it's not me. So Nadara is gonna ready both of her daggers, and yeah, at the first sign of movement, if it's near me, I'm slashing at it, and if it's far enough and within my reach, I'm gonna throw them.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. And Devotion. Devotion is not getting near the rest of the party. Just sort of scooches around, so like now where that box that she's had her back to is now between her and where the mimic had last disappeared, and continues to take the dodge action. Not planning on making a break for it. Does not want to be the first thing seen moving when this thing decides to get feisty. Okay.
Oh, quick question, Will.
Yes.
Is Vicious Mockery still active on the Mimic?
Ooh, excellent question. It hasn't made an attack yet. So let's see it would depend on the duration of the spell, I suppose. Let me take a look. It's got a duration of
Next turn. Before the end of the next turn.
instantaneous. You unleash a string. It on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. So since it'd be freed up now.
Okay.
All right, so that means it is the Mimic's turn. There is an unsettling quiet, a deafening silence that rolls over the storeroom as the party is looking for, praying for a moment of safety. And as Theor's being tended to, and Yoan strikes up the wand, Nadara, from just above your head, one of the boxes in the wood grain splits open, an eye, and then suddenly tentacles burst forward from underneath the slats of the wood as the mimic unveils itself. Now, there is some reactions in play, so we'll get those done. I'll give, I think the only two that we had readied were Nadara and Yoan, correct?
Yep.
And Yoan, you had your reaction comes up earlier in the initiative order, so let's resolve you first.
Dirty 20 to hit.
A dirty 20, okay.
3 fire damage. Cantrips, baby.
Hey, damage is what they say. Okay. Yoan, you are taken aback by the sudden emergence of the mimic, but not before reactively just releasing a whip of flame from your wand. It streaks across the sky. It manages to scour across the wooden planked flesh of the Mimic and then melts it down into that amorphous putty. Takes middling damage, but is still here. Then Nadara. Now that there is a sudden burst of fire above your head, you are able to fully see the Mimic's maw tearing open above your skull and looming ever closer. You can release the dagger if you wish.
Fantastic. I have one question.
I have an answer.
Is the dagger close enough for me to melee without throwing it? Is my first question.
No, because the Mimic has extended reach on you because of its tentacles.
Okay. So my second question is, since I'm dual daggering, and do I still get to make dual dagger attacks?
Because it is your reaction, you can only ready the one strike. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Oh my god, do something, please. Nope, I missed. Natural one. What's happening tonight, y'all?
Listen, every dog has their day. Every hero has their curse to bear. It happens. Nadara, you usually being so confident in your stealthy abilities, never expect to be the one to be snuck up upon as you release the dagger from your wrists in hopes of striking the Mimic before it can close the gap. But your dagger uselessly scrapes against the ceiling as the tentacles lurch downward upon you. So now I'm going to have to make some rolls. Let's see what happens here. All right, so the first roll was pretty bad. That's good for you. The second one was not as bad. That is going to be... first one is a 21 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Okay, the second is a... This is slightly worse. That's still pretty good for the Mimic. 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits too.
Okay, and then... Oh, I'm sorry, that's a...
And then...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about this Mimic. It picks a guy and chomps him up real good.
Yeah.
Alright, so basically, Nadara, unfortunately, every bit of this creature, every tentacle and pseudopod at its disposal, slurps around you, begins to constrict your bones, and then hoists you up into the air, into the waiting maw, the oozing, dripping maw of the Mimic, as the teeth shudder down on top of your form. So I have a little bit of damage to calculate here. Take a moment to soak in your existential dread while I do this.
This is 2 hits?
Sorry, I saw our AI chat say something, and I thought it was responding directly to us. I was like, "Fuel your transformation." That is some very evocative language, chat. And I was like, "Oh no, that's us." No, this is 3. I'm very sorry to say. Although I believe only 2 can be with the gangly bits, and 1 can be with the teeth. So you're spared a little bit of the teeth in this scenario. So that.
You have, Nadara?
What's up?
Oh, I'm at full health right now, so.
Nice.
Oh.
Who has the other potion? Because I don't have it anymore.
I have it.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. You can have it off your body to pour it down your throat.
So that's exactly where we want it to be. Yeah. That's good.
Well, that's the perfect place.
All right. So. Okay. Depending on if this knocked you unconscious, we may have to account for death save situations here.
Man.
So, if the Mimic strikes someone from surprise, which it has, it also does additional bonus damage on the first hit. The first strike is going to be 14 to hit. I'm sorry, 14 damage.
God. Okay, I'm still up.
You're still up? So that's initially you getting yanked up into the air. You hear like your shoulder dislocate as you are yanked up into the sky. Then another tentacle grabs you by the leg for another 9 points of damage.
Yep, I'm unconscious.
As you hear the hip joint pop out of place, and Nadara goes limp in midair, as the Mimic then holds Nadara sideways like a corn cob as the maw just down into the center. for another 9 points of damage. You're unconscious, so that will just be an automatic death save written off of the sheet.
Oh, shit. I think this is the first time in our game that I've gone unconscious.
It's a fitting time. It's a fitting time to go unconscious.
Yeah.
You hear such a satisfied, like, blood guzzling as the Mimic is now just draining Nadara of visceral fluid in mid-air. And that is all the Mimic can do. It had to move into position to get to Nadara, and then take a good old bite. Actually, the Mimic can, as a bonus action, stealth, but I don't think that's... Well, it doesn't have to transform. It can just stay hidden with the Nadara. Nadara doesn't have a light source. It will stealth at the end of its action.
It's Creep's turn, so
Alright. Creep. Let's see. Creep heard the squelching sounds of pain and is going to just dash in that direction. I don't believe Creep's passive perception is going to be enough. Actually, no. He does have a ranged attack, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he can prepare a strike. Let me double check. He does have his gaze. Okay, that's what we'll do. Creep is gonna run into the very center of the arena, right? And just open his eye up to its widest, almost lidless point as you see that eldritch light, that malevolent glow emanate from underneath the vision as he begins channeling his withering gaze as a reaction. Show yourself! Make yourself known to Creep! Creep says as he scans the area, almost like a lighthouse, just trying to scan the area for this creature, waiting for it to unveil itself. But that is that for Creep with a reaction. Gray, that means that it's going to be you and Zorvrax is on deck.
Can I access Nadara? Is she within reaching distance of me?
No, Nadara was way off by herself. Yeah. That's why the Mimic thought that would be a nice, tasty target to go for.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay. And it's currently hidden, right?
Yes.
I guess I can still see Nadara.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nadara's in the clutches of the Mimic right now, so you could probably spot her, but be a little difficult. It wouldn't be as hard as spotting the Mimic, I'll say that much. Looking for Nadara would probably be a better get.
Well, how likely am I to hit her with a spell like Cure Wounds if I can barely see her? Would I roll at disadvantage? Is that how I would...
Depending on how Cure Wounds is worded, you may have to have line of sight to the target.
It's a touch spell.
It's a touch spell.
Oh, it is a touch spell. And is that my only healing spell? Let me just double check that. Okay, I will take my last magic stone.
Yeah.
It's all I can do.
Yeah.
And I will throw it. I'll use perception. I can use perception and then throw it, or is that?
It's one or the other. So, but I'll say this much: if you throw, you're going to be throwing with disadvantage. So it's kind of like a gamble either way.
I'll throw with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay. Is it 10 to hit?
A 10. You rear back and you throw the rock into the gaggle of crates and barrels, and you take a chunk out of one of the barrels, and then just like mead starts pouring out of the side, and it is actually a barrel, not a Mimic, which is secretly a barrel.
Okay. I'm going to cast Magic Stone again. And this time, I'm going to levitate the stones over.
Mental note taken. Gray, that's going to be you. So Zorvrax, unless you have anything else, Gray. Throwing the rock. Okay. Zorvrax, that means you're here, and then Theor, you are on deck.
I'm I'm still relatively close to Theor, right?
Yes.
So I'll just double check that they're okay.
Theor's been guzzling berries and juice, and I'm about as alright as I'm gonna be, lad.
Great.
How many berries has he had, by the way?
Just the one, yeah. That was baby birded.
He's at 1 HP then.
Oh no, Viola poured a potion down his throat.
Oh, you got a potion in him. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. How much for?
Passive spy in chat. Hey friend, good to see
I don't
you.
remember. 7.
It was 7 HP.
Yeah,
Seven,
so he's
okay.
at 8.
But yeah, the thing otherwise got away, right? Like
It's currently hiding with Nadara in its clutches, enjoying itself a fine little snack.
and I guess I'll try to see it.
Okay. Do you want to move closer to where it crawled off to in the process?
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you want me to roll?
You'll just roll perception.
Perception. Okay. So that's gonna be a 3. Pardon. That's gonna be a 12.
A 12. Unfortunately, in the darkness, amongst all of that rubble and stacks of goods, you don't see anything of any note.
I don't think there's really anything else I can do at the moment, but I'll kind of keep a wary eye on the horizon, if you will.
Okay. Theor, that's going to be you, and Percy is up next.
Can Theor attack with disadvantage, or
Yeah.
have we lost it entirely?
No, I mean, you can fire with disadvantage in its general direction.
That's all I can really do right now. Certainly in no shape to go charging it with a sword. That is only a 12 to hit.
A 12 to hit. Let me double check to make sure I'm not lying to you before I confirm this. Theor, brain still hazy, trigger finger still shaky, releases a bolt on the crossbow, and you hear it shatter against the stone nearby. It does not find purchase.
That's all he can do.
Okay, so it's Percy next with Musidi on the stack. Now, Percy is going to do something a little unique.
What?
What? Well, because Percy has a unique feature, which it has not much had the chance to use, but in this scenario, seems like it might be helpful. It's literally called Helpful. Percival can take the help action as a bonus action. So Percival looks over his shoulder, and we have Musadi, Yoan, Viola, Nadara. Oh, Nadara's going to be incapacitated. So Yoan, Viola, and Musadi up next. And says, do one of you think that you can find her? I can help if one of you thinks that you can find her.
I have +5 to perception, so I could try real hard.
Anybody else can do? That's the best we got.
No, wait.
She's got a sharp eye. I'd go with her.
All right, Nadara, Viola, and he like saddles up to you, and he like adjusts his glasses, and you can see the magnification like changing rapidly. His like eyes go like quite buggy for a moment. This is for our girl. This is for Nadara. It says, so he's granting you the help action. So on your turn, you can choose to do that perception check with advantage. And he also has his own full action, which he can use. What is he gonna do though? Percy is going to. He's moved closer to Viola. I think he's.
Does he want to just grab a spear from my back?
Well, will you offer one?
Yeah, I have. Let me tell you how many I have. I've got 3.
3.
So yeah.
As you reach back and grab a spear and point it in Percival's direction, he takes it and graciously bows. I assure you this one will fare much better than the last.
I have hopes.
You can see him swallow a hard lump in his throat. As do I. And that is going to be Percival's turn. Musa D, you're up. Yoan on deck.
Okay. So we don't know where Nadara is, so no one has seen Nadara yet.
Correct. You saw her for a moment before the creature carted her off into the darkness.
Okay. Can I get as close as I can safely to see if I can run a perception check really quick and just see if I can see it?
Yeah, absolutely. 30 feet closer, as is your movement speed. You can give me a perception check.
That's a 7.
A 7. Unfortunately, there is nothing but the sounds of pitter-pattering blood droplets somewhere within that corner of the alcove as Nadara remains to be seen. Quite literally remains to be seen.
So, hypothetically, I just shot a healing word in that direction. Is there a chance that I can heal the mimic?
No, I think you still have to select the target. Let's see. I'm going to double-check the verbiage on healing word here to confirm the intended action. A creature of your choice that you can see within range regains hit points. So you have to see the creature and you designate the creature.
Oh shit. Shit. And so again, another hypothetical question. What if I just randomly threw my dagger into the dark? Is there a chance that I can hit Nadara?
I would say no, you're still announcing the creature, but you use the perception check to try and find her, so you wouldn't have
Got
the...
it.
Yeah.
Got it. So that,
Unless, actually, if it's a dagger... Oh, but you're not dual wielding, so I don't think you could do it as a bonus action. Never mind, I spoke out of turn.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's it for me.
Yoan, that means you're up with Viola on deck.
If Viola manages to find the pinpoint which one it is, will that clear a disadvantage?
Yes.
If I ready to firebolt.
Yes.
Yoan readies up another firebolt.
Okay.
Counting on you, Viola.
I'm scared.
No pressure. All right, Yoan's fireball is readied, as is Creep's withering gaze. So let's not forget that. Viola is now up with Nadara on deck.
I'm scared.
So yes. So as you roll, Percival adjusts his glasses furiously.
I got a 14 and a 15.
Total?
Well, I rolled with advantage, so I got a 14 and a 15, so 15.
15 total, okay.
Yeah.
As you squint into the darkness, you see what appears to be an oddly shaped lump amongst the... Get the lump! As Percival down shouts, get the lump! Get the lump! As you can see, one of the boxes, sort of on one hidden side of it, still has a few tentacles emerge and is trying to strangulate Nadara against its heft. So yes, the creature is revealed. So that means, I believe, both Creep and Yoan have the ability to use their reactions because it has been seen. I'm going to let Yoan take his first since he's the hero, not the sidekick character. Yoan?
Right. I'm going to burn inspiration on this. 17 to hit.
Ooh, that is a hit.
7 fire damage.
Ooh, that is very, very good. All right, and then let me also take into consideration the creepy gaze, the creepy gaze of Creep here, because I think his is unique. His is it's actually a saving throw on the creature, so I get to be in that lovely position where I make rolls against myself. which is never a confusing thing that a dungeon master has to do. So I'm gonna roll a die. Okay. Perfect. The creature is revealed. Get the lump! Get the lump! Creep suddenly swings his head in that direction. Get the lump! And there's like a flash of arcane purple light that emanates from his gaze. But unfortunately, the creature just sort of shifts its body composition so the eyes are not in that direction and is not affected by Creep's attack. However, that means it is not looking for the bolt of flame, which is careening down the hallway from Yoan's wand tip. It smashes into its side, burns a huge hole into the center of its flesh, and it is now on death's door, we'll say. It is practically dead. And that is going to be... That was Viola's action. A bunch of triggers happened. Anything else, Viola, for you?
I'm gonna just yell at Nadara, stay alive!
Nadar cannot answer,
I know. That's the best I could do at this moment. I have no bonus actions.
My consciousness appreciates.
Nadar, this will be your turn, so I will need a death saving throw from you.
Alright, so basically I have to roll over a 10, right?
Yeah.
14.
14, okay.
Yep.
There's once again an unconscious shock through your system as you open your eyes for a second just to see a flame strike blast against the creature, but just as quickly as it came, it fades. You are still unconscious, but you are fighting for your life. Okay.
I have to succeed or fail 3 times, right?
Correct.
And then if I roll a nat 20, it's 2 successes?
If you roll a nat 20, you immediately come back conscious with 1 HP.
And if I roll a 1?
I can't remember. I think it's just a standard failure, if I'm not wrong. Unless you can check me on that. Is it 2 fails? Rules gallery.
Let's say again.
Critical fail on a death save. Is there any special rule like critical success?
2 failures.
2 failures. Okay. Thank you for noting.
If I roll a 1, that means I die next turn.
So hey, that's easy. Just don't roll a 1. All right. This puts us in the unique position. I'm gonna stoke some drama here. This puts us in the unique position that the only other character before the Mimic to go is Devotion. And so far Devotion has been entirely self-serving and self-preservational, let's say. So, I don't know if the party feels like trying to rouse Devotion against her compatriots. Perhaps it could be the killing blow against the Mimic. Otherwise, if you don't want to risk her or freeing her bonds or anything like that, then it will pass to the Mimic's turn, and the Mimic will do what the Mimic does.
Oh my god.
Do the right thing!
Can anyone do it, or are we in
Turn on the
right
charm, Musadi.
That's probably on you.
Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll
We got a
say.
nice thing going on too, though.
The characters who are nearest to Devotion right now, because everybody was moving up near the box that she was hiding, are Musadi, Zorvrax, and Gray. Those are the 3 characters who are around Devotion right now.
Let's go up to her. Let's go up to her together. You can do all the talking, but I'll walk up to her with you.
You're a charismatic bard, you got it. Smooth talking.
Rex wants to help, but
How
he
pretty
doesn't.
He is.
That's a lot of pressure. So I was just gonna go with the simple because I'm still playing, and I'm gonna glance at what's her name, Devotion,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna look at it sincerely when I'm playing. Again, concentrated. Please, and I'm gonna keep playing. It's like the deepest please you can ask for, right? Just please, right? Again, just with the zeitgeist of just how much we've helped her, and again, our relationship, because it is burgeoning.
I'm gonna remind you, it is.
Please.
And Gray's gonna position her body in a way to where she is protecting this moment from a potential mimic attack. Like wherever danger is, that's where Gray's put, just so they can have this quick private moment.
Ooh, okay. So would you say? All right. So Musadi, I kind of have a feeling because I want to make this in like a very truncated, short little skill moment here. So for you, I feel like it's pretty easy to discern. That's like 1 part performance check, 1 part persuasion check, right? But Gray, what would you say your check? How would you determine? How would you, what skill do you think you're using to give them this moment of privacy?
It sucks because she's not really built for this kind of a character play. I guess
Nick Brigadier's in chat. He just said D notion. First pun of the night. Thank you, Nick. We needed that.
Do I have to be proficient in this skill?
No, you don't have to be. I mean, it helps your chance, but you don't have to be.
Can I say perception, as in like I'm reading the moment really, really well, and I can be like.
Well, if you're reading like their body language, that'd be more of like an insight check.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna call for an insight check from Gray, a performance check, and a persuasion check from Musadi.
Before we continue, did we have any more? I'm pretty sure we had more than 1 point of inspiration, right? I'm sure we didn't have just 1 lingering. We had more than 1.
I have 5 unused.
I'm assuming that I have more than 1. For the performance, that's an 18. For the persuasion, that's a 9.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
Oh god.
And 8 total?
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, there. Can I intimidate my way?
No, I'm just checking. So there's a 19, a what, an 8, and a what?
An 18, a 9, and an 8. I think is what it is.
A 9 and an 8. Okay.
For the record, I'm fucking it up on that loot. So if you want to put it out there, I'm going crazy on the loot. Before you say what you're about to say, just consider I'm going crazy on the loot.
Bardic inspiration.
I think he would have had to have done that on. Well, considering that I'm kind of treating this as a mini skill challenge within this moment. If you have, I don't know if you have Bardic Inspiration to spare, but if you had it, I'd let you use it.
Yeah, for sure. So can I shoot the Gray at Bardic Inspiration, or would I use it on myself?
You could use it on.
Use it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, technically you have the 9 over the 8, so it would be more, I guess, advantageous for you to take the 9.
Okay. Wait, do I roll again, or do I add a number to it?
Bardic Inspiration, I believe, is a number depending on your level. A fixed die depending on your level. So I have to just double check what die that would be for you at your current level. Bardic Inspiration should be a D6.
That's 12.
12? In your own words, Musadi, you walk up to Devotion, fucking it up on the loot. And Devotion is sort of caught in the sort of the commotion of everything. She just watched fire and eldritch lights to get blasted in the direction. You're suddenly approaching her with the I believe you said the deepest please that you could ever conjure. And she looks at you and she looks at Gray. Sid Vicious says the Riz. The Riz emanating off of this moment. And Devotion looks at you and looks at Gray for a moment, and there is something that sort of has been sort of twisting in her mind, right? You've spoken to her at length about, what would Jackie do for you? Would Jackie leave you for dead? All these things. Things she's defended against, but somewhere deep down inside has also questioned, knowing what she's seen on the frontier. And in this moment, watching all of you fight, tooth and nail with everything you have to defend one of your own, there is something within her, a light bulb moment for her, if you will, where she finally decides, Jackie wouldn't do this for me. I've seen her. There's a ruthless, calculated mind behind her, and she wouldn't save me like you're trying to save your friend. And then she holds her hands up to you, Musadi, which you're still bound. I know this is an ask. It is a big ask. You have no reason to trust me. But if you release...
I cut the rope right there.
The binds give way. She reaches down into the folds of her cloak, and a moment later, there is a wand of her own, a darkened piece of gnarled wood, a far cry different from the fanciful shape that Yoan carries, but an arcane implement all the same. As she narrows her eyes in the direction of the mimic, and let's see what happens. Alright, we are going to... I have to do more rolls against myself in this moment. I'm going to roll a d20. Ooh. Ooh. Check the attack bonus. Pulls out the wand. It crackles with arcane force as she narrows her eyes at the mimic. No longer will I be held in the chains of fear from you, or Jacqueline, or these Forsaken any longer. Be gone with you, foul beast! As a beam of pure arcane force rips out from the wand, an arcane blast worth 7 points of force damage ripples across the sky. 16 to hit versus 14 to AC on a critically wounded mimic. The arcane bolt hits straight into its side, nearly tears it asunder with one massive magical burst. You can hear one final as it just discorporates into gelatinous bits in every direction. Unfortunately, this does mean that Nadar will be in a bit of a free fall. You will suffer one death save as you hit the ground, very similarly to as Theor did moments ago. But that does mean that as the smoke from the wand clears and the dust settles, you can see Devotion breathing heavily. What have I just done? What have I just done? I've betrayed everyone. I've betrayed myself. And she sort of like clutches the wand to her chest and sort of like immediately sort of grapples with the immediacy of her own actions.
Can we sprint to go pop that potion in the dollar's mouth?
Yes, you can. I'm gonna put on some less intense music as you have.
Mama Birder. A Mama Birder.
The potion? You like gargle it and swish it around in your mouth?
Good berries. There are so many good berries. They go bad after 24 hours.
What if she wakes up and then stabs you?
Yoan is already on her and pops his good berry into her mouth.
No, just so I'm clear, no baby birding.
No.
Okay, all right. I'm just asking.
We're not like that.
Nadara, there is a sudden burst of flavor that is not blood in your mouth as your consciousness is shot back into your mind. You open your eyes and Yoan is crouched over you but a few inches.
That most unpleasant. Oh my god.
Well, you're gonna have to walk it off. We gotta keep moving. Time to heal up. Time to look around, and we've got to get moving a little bit. And Yoan's gonna start a very cursory investigation check if he can to see if there's any particularly obviously valuable items in this room.
Yeah, for sure. Is anybody else giving assistance with this operation? Zorbrax.
Join in that. Yeah.
Does anyone have a potion?
I have a potion.
Can I have it?
Can I have it?
I might have to pop it.
I
have a 1 HP.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, she potion though.
Let me see. I should actually probably take it.
I'll help with insight as well.
Investigation, but yes, you may.
What is the potion heal again? I'm so sorry. I forgot.
2d4 plus 4? Am I making that up?
2d4 plus 2.
Oh, 2d4 plus 2.
Also,
I am
as a
making it
reminder,
up.
I have Song of Rest, which can do
Yes.
What is
That'll be
that?
on a short rest.
Short
I
rest
think.
if you decide to take it.
something. Oh.
Okay, I have my D4 right here.
I mean, I don't have any spell slots, so if we are gonna fight the big bad, I will want to take a long rest
Yeah.
so I can be helpful.
We might not get the choice there. 24 investigation though.
24 investigation. Anything for you, my friend, Violet?
I got a 19 for
19.
investigation.
Okay. And then Zorbrax, were you also helping on that?
Yeah. I did not help at all.
All right. Well, 2 out of 3 is very, very good.
13.
Yoan, you also, being in the mercantile trade once in your years, and now without the imminent danger of a secret prowling mimic on the loose, you're able to use the record-keeping notes found in the previous parlor, and with Viola's keen eye to suss out any loose bricks or hidden bits that might be hiding anything better than average. You find in an assortment of stolen goods like jewelry, royal I shouldn't say royal, but noble finery, and of course loose coins, and because we're talking about the Forsaken here, probably some rare spell components, like vials of Residium dust and unique reagents and powders and whatnot. You find roughly 200 gold stashed away here, and tucked away, Viola, behind one of those hidden rocks, marked with just the slightest inkling of a scratch in the stone for you to pick out as a suspicious marker. You wiggle it free and find, not too dissimilar to another flagstone you moved earlier in this quest, a burlap sort of, what's the word? A burlap satchel. Peel it open. There are 2 vials of frothing red liquid hidden inside.
Yo, we got more potions!
Anyone
Probably
know
wise
what
to
these
drink
are?
them if we need them.
Yeah, who?
Can I just carry one?
Yeah.
Fior is at 8
Thanks.
hit
I won't drink it
points.
just yet. Thank you.
I'm also at 8.
There's 2? There's 2 potions? Okay, so then I'll hand one to Gray, and then I'll hand one to Theor.
Are we sure it's a potion of healing?
Well, no, but Theor's gonna wave his hand toward Nadara.
Aye.
Uh,
Come here, my friend.
Nadara hobbles over.
I know the feeling.
Oh my god. And I take the potion, I guess.
yeah, he's trying to deny the potion and give it to Nadara.
Oh, gotcha.
Why, thank you.
P.S. Everybody gets 33 gold pieces,
Hey.
and Yoan will just put the 2 extra in his pocket for party use, if that's cool.
Yep. 33. Amazing. Alright, let me see where I'm at.
Hey, Gray, I know you're at 10 health points, but I think that Theor is at 8, so I don't know if you want to hold the potion or if you want to give it to Theor already.
I want to hold it.
That's fine. And assuming that everybody is kind of settled and healed and whatnot, Yoan tries to kind of rally everybody. All right, next step. As discussed, we're heading to that library.
Library!
Might give us a chance to take a little breath, heal up a little bit, and meanwhile, Creep can have his run of the books.
Books!
Maybe
Yes, books!
And maybe it pisses the wizards off enough to come to us. I have a feeling maybe they'll try and wait us out, but it'll give us a breath.
Yeah, I could use a breath.
Sorry, Nadara, you first.
You're fine. I was gonna say, like, from the, I'm guessing, distraught look on Devotion's face, can I, like, sustain, or, you know, that she's the one that did this killing blow?
Last you were, what's the word, conscious. She was bound, hiding. You can now see she is unbound. Her wand is still crackling with the errant flow of magic. It seems pretty apparent she was at least somewhat instrumental in felling the beast.
Ndara's gonna walk over to her, and just kind of stand next to her, not really looking at her, but she's gonna say, you saved my life, I think, and for that I'm in your debt. And with that, she just walks away.
Devotion opens her mouth as if to say something, but then seeing the purposeful stride of Nadara moving forward, and still lost in her own confusion, just sort of like nods her head knowingly and like keeps the wand pressed against her chest, considering her own choices. Not but a moment later, Percy runs up to Nadara. Oh my goodness! There was a moment! My life flashed before my eyes, watching your life flash before your eyes. I did not know if you would see the end of the day, Nadara, my dear. And he sort of like collapses to the floor. I'm so thankful for your safe return.
Percy, thank you so much for your well wishes. I am also very thankful for my safe return. I was seeing the light at one point.
Well, all I can say is that on my watch you shall never be almost consumed entirely by a mimic again.
Thank you so much. And she's gonna like take her hand and kind of like stroke his jaw.
The glasses, like from the sweat, nearly slip off of his face, and he manages to catch them right before they fall and push them back on. Theor grunts, sidles, forces his way onto his feet towards Yoan, who seems to have been the one sort of reminding everyone of the way forward. Well, lad, you seem to have the plan. And he casts a glance over at Devotion. I don't know what you make of that situation there. Can't say that she wasn't helpful, but there's still some questions to be had about her loyalties moving forward in front of her friends if she's to face them down.
Well, with any luck, we can ask those questions when we have a chance to rest. I would agree it's a bit up in the air. We could always bind her again with or without her permission if necessary.
If she gives us the chance. Slippery one, that.
Well, it is sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, even against 1. I think we have some odds in our favor.
He casts a glance over towards the ensorcelled door, which is, the entrance to Jacqueline's sanctuary across the way. For now.
For now, yes. Probably something we should figure out before, and he also makes a pointed glance in that direction. We won't wait too long.
Aye. And he just sort of grunts his way back towards Percy to make sure that Percy is still largely intact. So, getting a read on the party here, it sounds like y'all want to move forward with the plan you had before. You're going to go through the unensorcelled door to the library, get Creep there to Let creep do creep things. And then I've heard some talk of the word rest. Is that something that the party, a long version, a short? What are we thinking? Because I think we're hitting around the 2-hour mark, so I think we're going to probably end tonight's session, but we want to, start seeding plans for what's going to happen moving forward.
I vote, if possible, a long rest, but it might not be possible. So that's.
I have a feeling it's if anything, we're gonna get a short rest. Obviously, like a long rest would be super ideal, but Jacqueline's been watching us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
I don't think she has been watching us because we chased that away.
Maybe we'll look super cute in our sleep and she won't want to bother us.
I mean, we basically popped See Invisibility on and it was like there, like it had been there for a while. So she knows we're fucking around. It's just a question of how much.
Mm-hmm.
And just to put it out there, what if, like, we get to the library, right, to rest, and she's already there? Because I think it said the thing would switch between, like, hearing and seeing. So, like, what if we get there, she's like, gotcha! And then now we're in another fight before we can even start.
Yeah.
Which doesn't take away from us needing a short rest, but just throwing it out there.
I mean, if she is thinking far enough ahead that we're going to be in the library, it's going to take her 2 seconds to figure out that the Mimic's dead. Like, she'll be on us anyway.
Yeah, true.
She'll just come here instead.
Is there a reason we don't want a short rest here?
I can keep an eye out. I don't need a rest, personally.
I don't need a short rest at all. So yeah, I can also help keep an eye out. But I don't know how that makes Creep feel to make him wait.
There's also just gut feeling for me is like, this seems like an easier room for them to sneak up on us in.
Exactly.
Whereas we can kind of fortify ourselves in that library, theoretically. Like, it's probably a little brighter, probably...
Better feng shui.
A little less easy to
Better feng shui.
Or there's another swarm of books, and then we get in there, and there's a swarm of books, and then there's Jackie. So then we're just gonna swap different ways.
The books only swarm because we touched them. So
it's too many books.
the Creep will definitely touch them. So
Creep is definitely gonna touch them.
But we already went in. That's the library we were already in, right?
Correct.
We're just coming in the back way so
okay,
Creep can get in there. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, to the library.
Because they specifically did not want Creep in that room.
I bet there are beanbags in there.
Sounds comfy.
They do kind of have some big throws for you to lay upon luxuriously. Well,
if you're gonna short rest, you better do it on a chaise lounge.
Well, I'll offer this information to you freely as your DM to help, the situation at hand. It sounds like you want to move to the library, which is grand. It's what we discussed before. That'll help help you out. It's really just a matter of if you want to take a short or a long rest there, because I can say with relative certainty that, like, Musadi and Yoan had discussed, the likelihood that Jacqueline has beat you to the punch there is pretty low. You'll probably get into the library as you had planned. But whether or not you take the short or the long rest is the larger question, because that's between giving the enemies an hour to prepare and plot against you versus giving the enemies 8 hours to prepare and plot against you. You, of course, will have your spells and abilities, bolstered as well, but it is giving them additional time to do their nefarious deeds. So it's all what the party wants to decide, but just bear that in mind. It just gives them the opportunity to better prepare themselves.
I can be fine with the short rest.
Same.
My in-character gut is that we better do this sooner rather than later, so short rest.
Mm-hmm.
As much as my player gut is, boy, I wish our cleric had all our spell slots.
Yeah, because I don't have any healing spells now, just so y'all know.
But
yay!
But like full rest for us and for the whiz-bizzes, whatever they're doing with that crate and whatever other shit they got going on, it might be just as bad.
Yeah.
We do still have some berries, which
Tally-ho.
at least will save us from death throws.
Okay.
We did just get 2 potions. I have a cure wounds. I have 2 cure wounds.
Oh, nice.
On you too.
I've got a second wind.
And I have a healing word.
That's just
I drank
Okay.
one of the potions, so we only technically have one.
Well, didn't we just get? Oh,
Yeah.
you drank one as soon as we found it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I vote short rest.
Do you want to retcon that second potion that you drank? Since we're gonna do a short rest immediately.
and we like pretend that.
Yeah, you
we
could
have
you could
multiple-
you could see what health you're at the end of your short rest, and then if you want to pop it, you can pop it then.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, then sure.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Because you're also going to get the benefit of the Song of Rest from Musaddi as well, which will also help bridge some gap in the health pool.
What does that do?
Every time you guys take a short rest, Musaddi can play a magical song while you're putting your feet up, and it helps you heal more than you normally would when you're taking that short rest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, is it a D4 or is it a D6 for Song of Rest now?
I'm saying D6.
Ooh.
D6. All right.
It's a solid bit of health.
All right.
All right. And so with that, I think we'll save the scene for you. Properly moving into the library and doing your rest until next time. I will say, mechanically speaking, you can actually take the short rest. That will happen. We'll narrate like a nice, fun scene next time we join, and then from there we can figure out what's happening with Devotion, with Creep, with this entire coterie of nefarious wizards that you've managed to make enemies of, and we'll see what happens with your reliquary. But for now, you have vanquished the Mimic, you have escaped a few of your friends from the jaws of death, quite literally, and you live to fight another day. And for all of your wonderful role-playing and engagement with the story, please give yourselves all a point of inspiration. And Musaddi, give yourself one extra, since you managed to be the deciding factor to get Devotion to give the killing blow to the Mimic. I feel like that is a fair feather in your cap.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're damn right.
But yes, I think with that being said, we are going to close down the session for the eve. How does that sound for everybody here?
Sounds good.
Excellent.
2 more hours. That's
Keep it running. Keep it running. I only wrote this much, Zach. I got a little to catch up on. That being said, thank you so much for joining us. This is Level 1 Adventuring. If you are new to our channel, I am your host and Dungeon Master, Wolf Scott. Who are we? We are a tabletop role-playing and role-playing game channel. We do everything to big group games like you're seeing tonight, D&D. That's usually every Wednesday, give or take. We have head count, so if you're here tonight, thank you so much for that. But we also do smaller solo RPGs. We got Tales of the Burnstones and Firelights right now, and we also do some digital RPGs. We got Celeste. We got lots to see. You can watch that here. You can watch previous episodes on YouTube. You can join us on the Discord, where we'll chat and meme and joke and play D&D together there very soon as a community, which will be very fun. Passive Spy says, yay, thank you for the adventure. Thank you for being here, Passive Spy. We love to see you in the chat. Thank you to all of the stream partners who make this possible. StreamLabs, StreamSpell, Tabletop Audio, Air Twitch, everybody, you're great. If you use their links down below, we get a kickback, and we love to help each other out, so thank you. And that is all of my usual spiel, so we're going to do a popcorn goodbye. We'll see if we iron out the kinks over the first time. But I will popcorn goodbye first to Mr. Garrett.
Oh no, we can't.
Oh no, we're popcorning goodbye on mute.
Sorry,
I said let's iron out the kinks. Immediate kinks.
Getting off on the right step. I have been Garrett. I am a social media hermit. I got nothing to pitch, but thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to popcorn over to Amber.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight and watching me escape the jaws of death. I do have a Twitch, and you can follow me at The Girl with Caramel Skin.
Please do.
I have not streamed in a very long time, but I will eventually. So, stay tuned. I'll popcorn to Sydney.
Hey, Sydney. Thank you all for watching. I vibe. I don't really do anything on the internet. But I'm a popcorn it to Lauren.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Garrett said, I've been Garrett. I've been Lauren. If you like rocks, there's more where that came from.
Oh, where's it going, Lauren? Where's it going, Lauren? Pass the rock, pass the rock.
Popcorn!
Hi,
Zach.
I'm still here. My name is Zach. I was forgotten in the popcorn. I'll survive. But thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I believe there's still one more popcorn.
There is.
You also forgot.
Who have we
Wow, nobody is eating this popcorn.
Thank you, y'all. Be kind, drink water. You know the deal. Thank you.
Yes, be kind, drink water. Thank you all for joining us. You won't see the stream until next week, until Monday, Tuesday time, when I might do some solo stuff, and then we will do an internal head count between them there to figure out if we can do D&D campaign Wednesday, so we'll keep you in the loop for that. But until then, be well, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time. So, that is for now.
Bye.